You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. It's time for News Flash. My guests are seated and poised for the conversation. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, whatever gadget you are looking for, Franco Trading Enterprise has got that, and even many more. Is it mobile phones, television set? Is it, you know what? Like I said, television sets, yes, I've spoken about the air conditioners. Have I spoken about CCTV cameras? Well, if I haven't, I'm telling you that they've got very good ones as well. Now, in our day and age, you need one in your home. All you have to do is to download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or you can actually go to our website. It's www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone prepare for. We have a lot of, topics this morning, but let me touch on just about 2 or 3 of them. I think the main one happens to be the 177 million Ghana cedis, sorry, I was going to say US dollars, but it's actually Ghana cedis, that has, the Vice President is saying that the Ministry of Finance is allocating to nurses, trainees. Now, they call something alawa. So once you go into the training school, you get alawa. Now, this is stemming from the fact that when he went on a campaign trail to these nurses, one young lady stood up. She's in her final year and said she's never received alawa. And the Vice President decided to work on this. And so he has spoken and said that 177 million Ghana cedis has been allocated. And of course, it will be given to them as soon as it hits the account. This and many more. We'll also talk about, the SSNIT conversation where we have some hotels that belong to Ghana. I'm talking about hotel like the Elmina Beach Resort. I'm talking about Labadi Beach Hotel. I'm talking about La Palm Hotel and others. Now, should I say alleged, or I should actually say that Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa has actually spoken about it, and he has petitioned Shraj, and this is his petition, that the Agric Minister, Honorable Brian Champong, has bought 60% of the shares. This makes him the owner because he's the majority owner of these, hotels. Now, SSNIT is saying that there's nothing wrong with it, but Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa is saying that they never got the approval from Parliament to go ahead with this particular sale. Now, Shraj is investigating, and we don't know what the end result will be. But we want to hear your voice on these issues this morning. And also, we'll speak about some homes that have been actually destroyed by rain, so the thunderstorms and all. We'll talk about all of this right here during this segment. And you can be a part of the conversation as well. But don't forget to go to Franco Trading Enterprise to get all your gadgets. It's very, very important. They have mobile phones, they have television sets, they have fridges, they have, air conditions. There's so many. Even CCTV cameras. Download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or just go to, our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone prepare. My guests are seated. I'm talking about the man, Philemon La, who is represented. He's representing the NDC this morning. Hello, Asqua.
Good morning, Rosalie.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well.
How is court?
The courts are there. Someone I know used to say the court is not a slaughterhouse, so anyone can go there. So the courts are there.
The courts are there. That's good.
There.
So good morning. You look dashing this morning.
You look way better.
All right. So like I was telling you, we have a lot of topics that we are discussing, but there are a lot of topics that are trending, but I want to discuss 3. We'll try as much as possible to cover all 3. Might be 2. But let's see what the future holds, depending on the time that we have. And let me introduce to you Bernard Mona. Bernard, how are you?
I could have been better.
Hey, what is it that is stopping you to be better?
The height of deception, particularly by persons entrusted with responsibility to make our lives better. The least we expect is a level of integrity. But the level of avarice that we are seeing among government officials is killing our nation. The greed is simply unimaginable. And you wake up every morning and it's one greedy event or the other. Rose, you cannot be a happy person. This nation deserves better, it deserves honesty, and above all, it deserves that even in our misery, the least we can expect from our leaders is just to be truthful. Truth, it heals. But where we are laced with lies, and we cannot even take the word of the highest person in authority as sacrosanct, I get broken. Indeed, I get broken totally.
Well,
every morning you wake up, you see the headlines. Sometimes you are wondering whether this is our Ghana. At the end, we use theatricals, or what they call legal gymnastics, to exonerate people who are just thieves.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they are thieves.
Anyway, we'll talk about all of that and many more. Let me welcome Ben Ejewapia, who's representing the NPP. Hi, Ben.
Hi, the beautiful Rosalind.
It's been a while.
I mean, it's life sometimes will just, push you somewhere else. And I'm grateful to see you. You're always looking beautiful.
Thank you so much. But where have you been hiding, though?
Well, up and down. We're gearing up for the campaign as well.
Okay.
And, we had one or few things that we had to do outside as well. And when I was just coming back from London,
Hey.
and Ghanaians are pleading with us not to make sure that we don't return the NDC. And that's a good call. I mean, you would probably think that Ghanaians living abroad do not care about what is going on. They follow every event that's going on in the country. And they are pleading with us to make sure that we don't return JDM. And I think it's a good call, looking at what Flag Bearer is doing currently. On the street, everybody is supporting him, showing him love. And I know that come 7 December 2024, we will win this election. I mean, listen, if you can remember, there's been some difficult times, in the past 2 years. We are just recovering. Things are about getting better.
But
we're still in difficult moment though.
Exactly.
But it's way better. If you can remember, we used to buy fuel at 18 Ghana cedis per litre. Now it's coming down.
It's going up again.
Well, but it's not 18 anymore.
Yeah, it came down, but it's going
Diesel
up.
was 22. It's coming. I mean, it came down.
But it's going
and
up.
Probably everywhere, even in the UK, everybody is complaining. The kids, with £9, you have to get an ice cream. At first, you only have to be like £1. So everybody is complaining, and we're just hoping and praying that things will get better, elsewhere. I mean, around the world. Just coming in, we heard the news about Iran, and then with our president, with our president as well. So the weekend has been a little bit bizarre. We bid farewell to John Kuma, The world is a challenging moment, as we say, but we hope that things are going to get better.
Yeah. Talking about Iran, the Iranian president and his team were involved in a plane crash. And, I think nobody survived.
No.
Everybody died.
Yeah.
So currently,
That's
Iran is in a mourning state because they've lost their president and his team. It's quite a sad one. And so...
and our presidential convoy too.
Yes, our presidential convoy too had an accident.
We are
where
lucky
one
our
life
president
has been lost.
survived.
Our president was not part of the convoy.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was not a part of the convoy. It's his convoy, but he wasn't part of the convoy. He was, in Accra, and this convoy was returning from the funeral of John Kuma. And, one person lost his life in this particular accident.
Right.
So we are praying with the entire MPP and the family of the person who lost his life as well. Let's quickly read what the newspapers have, and then we delve into our topics for this morning. We'll start with the Republic Press newspaper. My generation has failed you, Sam Jonah tells the youth. Is he telling the truth? Wow, coming from Sam Jonah, who sold a huge percentage of Anglo Gold. Wow, Sam Jonah. Anyway, St. Peter's SHS to get first assembly hall since its establishment in 1957. 2024 elections, Presbyterian moderator cautions against empty political promises. 16 burned in premix blast. 2 dead. This is quite sad. These are not the kind of news that we want to hear. Bawumia leads MPP to bid John Kuma farewell, and Akufo-Addo shows faith in Senegal amid ECOWAS crisis. Let's do the New Finder newspaper next. The New Finder. 459,291 voters are registered as EC rejects NDC's rigged claims. 65 professional bodies, including GBA, GJA, to be removed from companies' register. 1 dead in fatal presidential convoy crash, and we spoke about this not too long ago. Later, GSO MP Dr. John Kuma laid to rest. May his soul continue to rest in peace. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The Ghanaian Publisher. Akufo-Addo calls for ethical journalism. Bawumia's running mate, NPP Blue Queens, clergy back a woman. I don't know if, it's going to be a woman. Ben, will it be a woman?
Well, we're hoping so. I mean, the fight for the selection hasn't been easy. We've seen some women, top names, pop up. So we're just hoping and praying.
All right. Business moguls, politicians storm Buamang to mourn Berchi Echamfo and Kandapa. All right, Parliament approves new ministers finally. It's been approved, and we see pictures of Ophelia Mensah Hayford, Miss Fatima Abubakar, and Daquan Newman. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper next. The Daily Graphic newspaper. 3i Summit records big deals as $100 million for SMEs in Ghana, and BOG report on ECD success. And there are so many pictures here that tells more about the 3i Summit. And avoid personal agendas, act in best interest of nations, Speaker urges MPs. And Parliament approves $150 million for Garrett project. Let's see. Okay, there's some sports here. Adriana overpowers Hearts in Accra, and Brekum Chelsea stand Kotoko. Our final newspaper is the Daily Guide newspaper. The Daily Guide. John Kuma's death personal loss. This is coming from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. 1 killed in presidential convoy crash. And 2 dead, 14 injured in Esikado explosion. And we spoke about it, so it's quite sad to hear these things that happens. Sidi Kubuari welcomes Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is still in Ghana, and he's finally a Ghanaian. So I don't know if he's here to stay or he's here on a visit, but he is a Ghanaian now. St. Mary's College of Health Sciences holds matriculation. Let's see if we have some entertainment stories in the center page. And I know that Ciedu will give us all that we want. Drake loses $565,000 bet. Drake has been betting a lot. Kwame Sage evicted from Perth. Okay. This is the biggest story, and it's been trending since yesterday. Fela Makafui and Medical. Medical claims that Fela Makafui wants his house. Well, Fela has spoken that they'll settle it in court. So the court will decide on whether he wants his house or not. But our topics for this morning, let's quickly start with the monies that have been is about to be released. Let me say it like that, because the nurses have still not received the monies yet. But it's 177 million Ghana cedis that the vice president is saying that he has asked the Ministry of Finance to release to these nurses. Now, as he's embarking on his campaign trail, he actually had a conversation with nurses and nursing trainees, because some of them might not pass. Now, they said that as they are in school, they haven't received their allowance. So the vice president decided to work, and he's working very hard. And he's saying that Ministry of Finance is definitely releasing this money. And once this money is released, it will hit the account with immediate effect. Now, people are asking a lot of questions. One of the main questions happens to be our crisis that we are going through. We know our cedi is depreciating. We know fuel is going high. We are speaking about, times being difficult. And yet, we are paying this huge sum of money as allowance. Is it the right time for this money to be paid? Or it could have been done earlier to prevent, it happening during election time? Then other question people are asking is that, How is it that somebody who says that he's not in charge of the situation is finally solving problems? The other question, is this money being paid only because it's election year and votes are being looked for? Now, let me start this conversation with Bernard Morna. Bernard.
Greetings to you, to my co-panelists. You'll indulge me to deviate from your topic just for a minute or two to join in sympathizing with the people of Iran on the devastating loss of one of the forthright presidents that the world can obtain. It's painful, it's sad, it's a good time to mourn, but it's also a good time to continue to think about the conspiracy theories that this could not be a natural.
Really?
It could not be natural. The United States of America has vowed that Iran is their sworn enemy. Not long ago, they targeted their army general.
General Suleiman.
And then they killed him without any show of remorse. Anytime Iran is putting up leaders that will serve the true interests of the Iranians, that leader becomes a target of the United States of America. We have been witnesses to the several attempts that were made on President Ahmadinejad, and the United States simply could not tolerate his forthrightness. We've seen what they did in order to exterminate General Suleiman, and today we have seen what they have done. And I am convinced beyond doubt that is the United States doings. They have done to President, the Foreign Minister, and many others that were in the same thing. Clearly, the United States is not the policeman of the world, and they do not dictate what constitutes democracy for any part of the world. Their share of democracy must be practiced in accordance with their own dictates and their beliefs. Let the United States lift its hand off for the rest of the world to determine and chart their own path. They cannot impose their way of doing things on us. They have been beneficiaries of many ills in the world. There is no trouble spot in this world that the United States is not fingered. Give me one. Africa has had its share. Latin America has had its share. Asia has had its share. The Middle East continues to have its share of America's viciousness. Look, John Garang, of recent time, Libya, Gaddafi, come back to Thomas Sankara, come to Patrice Lumumba, come to Modibo Keita, come to Toure, come to Kwame Nkrumah, list them. And anytime they do the disclassifications, you are left with huge pain. They have devastated the future of many across the globe. And today, look at what is done in Iran. They killed Chamorro Machel, you remember? Simply because he was one of the people who stood with South Africa against the apartheid regime. And when South Africa was obtaining independence, they said, well, you've done your lot, but you will go. Who doesn't know the threat they put in the way of Mugabe? And eventually, look at what they put on the people of Zimbabwe. It cannot continue this way, that the United States will always have to dictate who should govern and who should lead a country. It's terrible and it's unbelievable. Let me sympathize with the presidency for the loss of one of our own and the manner in which these things are happening. I will also urge, particularly our presidential convoys, Not long, it was the vice president convoy.
Yeah.
Somebody died. And today, it's the president himself, his convoy. Yes, we do know that presidential convoys go at certain speed and guide it. But hey, they are human beings. I have worked on countless and continue to work with drivers. One of the things I know is that our drivers don't get rest. They don't get rest. And worse is that we don't even care about our drivers. My sympathy has always been with the drivers. And so when I go for functions, and many people, even in government today, will attest, and I see that there is a government appointee, and there is lunch, and we are going to eat, the first thing I ask is, has your driver and security eaten? Oh, they are at the back. I said, my candidate, and this is what happens to me and my team. As soon as we get to a place, I instruct my security, go and get food. Driver, go and get food. Because when I finish eating, I have to be on the move. Yeah. By that time, they have not finished eating. They will not say, oh, boss, we've not eaten. So we wait, can you wait for us? So my personal decision has always been that when we get to a place, I'm not the prime person to be looking at. Get my security to get something to eat. Get my driver to eat. These are the two people who hold my life. And they get to eat. When we get to any place and we need to sleep, the first person I ask is, my security, my driver, where are they sleeping?
Right.
Once they get to know where they are sleeping, I am sorted. If I don't get a place to sleep, at least I can even take a nap in the car. But they cannot because they have to keep watch. Unfortunately for most of us, we take them that they are robots. And these people work because whilst we are there talking on the platform, they are in the car, they are ready to take off. Because when you descend, you are coming, the car must be ready to move. The security has to be everywhere. And most often, it's just sheer fatigue. And when you are fatigued, the simplest, you get loss of concentration and these things happen. We should as leaders, give priority to these people that are with us. We may look at them from the lower level, but I look at them that they are the peak of our lives because the day they get fatigued, we don't exist. And so these are my two initial comments.
Okay.
Finally,
it's taking most of the time, though.
I don't mind if this is what I was speaking.
But you can speak on this one for maybe 2 minutes, and then I move on to the next person.
Importantly, I think that we need a proper national discussion on what the etiquettes and values of our education will be. I think that we are just jumbling things. And you don't do firefighting and think that you have found a permanent solution to problems. The problems we have in the educational sector, it's not to just get up and go and say, I have established STEM schools. No. Look, I feel very uneasy that we continue to educate ourselves in languages that we have borrowed. And our kids are still given hard knocks. They are asked to kneel down.
If you don't speak English.
Because they speak what we call vernacular.
Yeah.
So a Moba or a Moab is compelled to learn English before you can come and learn engineering. You are compelled to go and learn English before you come and learn economics.
And it's because it's a global language.
It cannot be global language.
Why? We are reading our newspapers in English. So if your child can't read after school, then why did your child go to school?
So what prevented us from reading our newspapers in Twi?
To who?
In Hausa.
If your child will travel...
Rose, don't devalue this. Because I cannot think that you are saying that the Japanese speak global English.
But they learn.
I cannot think
yes.
that the French, they speak global English as you want it. I cannot think that the Germans learned global English or they use global English. They use their languages. Go to India. And all these countries that I'm mentioning, see the level of sophistication of their development. They appreciate. So when they are talking economics, it's not a theory. When they are talking agriculture, it's not a theory because they internalize, they grow with it. Do you understand? But us, You go and learn something before you can come. Look, even how to shoot a gun, you have to learn English before you can come and pull a trigger. So we have engineers, the bulk of our engineers who are trained, I can tell you, only know how to regurgitate what they have memorized. They cannot apply. That is why you have mechanical engineers. When they're driving on the street and their cars suffer the least breakdown, they, who are mechanical engineers, cannot diagnose the fault. They are looking for the roadside fitter.
Is it not because of practicals in school?
Which one is practical? The truth is that,
the truth is that
we are not able to communicate. Can I ask you something basic? I'm sure that in your general science or core science, you came across something we scientifically say is called matter. You are here?
Yes.
Matter is anything that has weight
and occupies space.
Yeah. How do you say that in tree? How do you say that in what? For your grandmother who doesn't understand. When you go home and then they ask you, today you went to school, what did you study? Then they say, oh, they taught us matter. Then your grandma, what is matter? Somebody will say, matter is asem. And yes, sir. Then they ask you, what do you say? Explain to me, I beg you, Jehu. I want to be serious. Explain to me how you explain matter in tree.
I get your point.
So my feeling is that our education needs proper reordering.
Not the allowance that's being paid?
Now, the allower. Why was the allower being suspended? I have a fair idea. And it is this, that you used to have nursing training colleges. Yeah? Then we used to have teacher training colleges. Teachers that went to the university were considered degree teachers. And they did not earn allower. Right? They had to survive on students' loan. Nurses that went to the university to obtain a degree or a diploma did not earn allower. They earned or they survived on the students' loan. Now we converted our training colleges to colleges of education that are now degree and diploma awarding institutions. So we have to bring them at par. So take students' loan, just as your colleagues in the regular, because you are also going to be awarded degree. Number two, because of allower, and you can ask, because anytime I speak about it, I get a lot of messages from principals and teachers in these nursing training schools. Because of this allower syndrome, when the allower was being taken away, enrollment increased because the schools could now take more, and government was not burdened because you can go and take a loan facility. As soon as you reintroduce the allower, the schools had lots of admissions, starting from UDS to Bolgatanga nursing and what have you. I get messages. I can just show you some of them. And then the restriction is that, look, we have to restrict the number of people that we enlist or enroll as nurses. In those days, and I spoke to doctors at Kolebu and at 37, in those days, nursing was not a profession of choice and of dignity for many people. So what the government did was that we needed to encourage people to also do nursing. So we give you allower so that people can see that, look, there is motivation to do allower. Teachers, why? We were told that their reward was in heaven. In fact, recently Akufo-Addo stated that, and the teachers said, no, we also want to enjoy our reward now. So it was not places that people wanted to go. And more importantly, when you were trained as a teacher or as a nurse, you did not sit home for at least 1 week. Today, there is a glut of nurses. Today, we have glut of teachers. That people finish their nursing training colleges, and now you have to do what you call rotational national service, something that I know, that once you become a teacher, all you did was to use your teacher certificate and apply to the national service, and they gave you your national service certificate. You did that for nursing. Today, how many of the nurses that are trained are able to get direct employment? So they say, look, let's reorder our nursing. Unfortunately, we had this political thing. Let's introduce nursing allowances back. Politically, it caught fire. For almost 6 years, these allowances has not been paid. When they have to pay, they come and pay 2 months of your years, 3 months, and then that is all. they don't pay. The vice president, I felt embarrassed that the team that is working with the vice president did not do any research on the ground when they allowed the vice president to go on that stage and started talking in such animated form. And then when he finished, one of our daughters just deflated the vice president the manner she did. Why, Rose? That was an international embarrassment for me that my vice president was involved in such.
I have to come back to you on it. I'll come back to you, Dad. Let me come to you, Ben.
Yeah.
This money that is being paid, people feel that if the vice president can actually go ahead and do this, then he can actually solve other problems. So why is he saying that he's mate when it comes to other sectors, but when it comes to this, he's able to solve it?
Well, good morning to you and my wonderful brothers here in the studio. Good morning to our flag bearer, this main character that we are talking about, Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia, who in recent, weeks since he started his tour, he has done so far about 10 to 11 regions, and the results that are trickling in are significant. If you look at his campaign style, and the love that he has gotten from the street, from the very old people to the young men on the street, you can clearly tell that he's a man that is loved by the people, and that when he's being given the mandate, he can be able to deliver. Rosalind, I am very, very happy that matter of SSNIT is being brought to us so that we can discuss. And far from what Bernard Mona said, is that the vice president in his tour goes to meet the clergy, talks with the clergy, find ways and means to gather their ideas, find ways and means to brainstorm. How do we go about the current challenges that we are facing as a nation? Fast forward, in the near future, what do you think that we can do if I become the leader of this great nation? Then he gets answers. Then there's a section of his tour that is called Youth Connect, where he tries to connect with the youth and listen to their problems. Okay? For all you know, Bernard Mona, as the convener of Arrears Ghana, does not know everything that goes on in Arrears Ghana, because there are certain parts that he delegates other people to look at, and then they can feed him back. However, if you have a main person on the ground that gets problem, report to a section of the leader, and the report does not get to Bernard Mona, it's not Bernard Mona's fault. It's the one at least who did not, for lack of better expression, maybe he forgot to brief Bernard Mona.
But we always blame the head.
So it is very important that the vice president, in his build-up tour, Youth Connect, he gets somebody from the crowd, a youth in that matter, to raise a question. That is a current challenge facing other people. And quickly, he steps in to address it.
But are you saying that, a whole government didn't know that teachers' trainee, nursing trainee allowance had not been paid for a minimum of 4 years?
Look, that is not true. It can't be true. I am telling you this.
But this is from the young girl.
And you see, what's the duration for the nursing school?
What's the duration? Is it not 3 years?
It's 3 years.
Yes,
and
3 years.
she's saying that 4 years.
Yes.
How
I said
is
minimum
that?
of 4 years, because there are some people that send us messages that say they've completed.
From 2017 when we came in, we gathered money and started paying nursing training allowances. Have you not seen?
But how long did it last?
No, we've been doing it. This is our 7th year, almost like 8 years. This is our 8th year, I would say.
That you've been doing it?
Yes.
No, this is your 7th year.
7th year,
Yeah.
Let's say it like that. We came at a point where it was scrapped. The previous era or the previous government said they had no room to pay these allowances. Look, Rosalind, Ghana is not only Accra. if you go to the remote areas, the villages and towns, and you see young women who are enrolled in the nursing career path, who one way or the other use some of these allowances to cater for their family, you'll be shocked.
But why hasn't it been paid in the last 3 years? Let's even go to a minimum of 3 years then.
Sometimes there are backlogs, okay? And when backlogs come and government tries to resolve it, all will come boom at a go. So they understand the challenges, that sometimes it doesn't really flow like it has to, but when it does come, it comes in chunk. And then they're able to use that money to cater for other things. It is better than scrapping it off. We were here when the former president assured us that if it was going to cost him his presidency, he was going to scrap it. And indeed, he did that. But this government, irrespective of the challenges in this area, trainee allowances are being paid. In the 2023 budget, statement and economic policy, about 220 million Ghana cedis was just given last year for that amount.
For what?
For nursing and training allowances.
So where did it go?
So I'm telling you that there were backlogs. Why?
So some have been paid.
So
no,
what the backlog has to do with, let's say 2017 we paid in full, 2018 we couldn't. So 2019 we tried to pay some, but still you owe them 2019, part of it. Now what you do is when you gather money and you want to pay some of this money, you alert them that the previous balance that were due you, we are now coming to pay. But still in their heads, they know that you owe them. Okay? So that's when some of them will come out and say, oh, we've not been paid. But they know that government has tried to pay some of it and is working on paying the balance. And that is the discrepancy sometimes that gets out of hand, and then you have all this.
But this is a case whereby we are having this young lady who doesn't belong to any political party say that I have never.
Okay, it was a challenge. Okay, it was a challenge, and that needed to be addressed. And as a leader, what would you do? The vice president right away gave an assurance that he had made a call to the finance minister. The finance minister then reassures him that we are working on it as soon as possible. It will be done. He gave a specific timeline on Thursday.
Yeah.
Before going to one of your sister stations, heard that the 177 million Ghana cedis promised by the flag bearer of the party had gone.
Fantastic.
So that is what the leader does.
So they started receiving their money.
Exactly. That is what we all need to do. Look, as a leader, you cannot do everything. But to assure the ordinary Ghanaian that this challenge that you are talking about, to affirm my position and to sympathize with you, I have called the appropriate authority to make sure that this money gets to you. And right away it goes. We want a president or a leader that is result-oriented.
Why is he not fixing the cedi depreciation then?
Look, it's, with the cedi depreciation.
He's the head of the economic team.
I'm
not debating. I'm asking a question
it's
because
very,
it's a very valid
important.
question I'm asking. Because if this person says, I can fix A, you should be able to fix B.
We need to understand, Rosemary.
You
have a very legitimate concern. And I believe if Dr. Bawumia was in the studio, he would tell you exactly what is making all these things happen.
I know how it
Look,
responds.
Rosemary, we are part of the problem. It's not only Dr. Bawumia.
No, he's not a problem.
Yes,
he's
I'm
the
saying,
fixer. He's
I'm
the one
saying
in
that.
charge.
So Bawumia is part of the problem. He has admitted. Bawumia is part of the problem.
Listen, we should be very careful.
It is only today.
Look,
Today they have admitted.
no, I'm saying that we are all part of the problem.
Bawumia is too. Yeah.
We live in an economy where it's import-driven. Okay?
Please allow me to
Everything.
speak. Thank
Have
you.
you seen? Everything that we use here is from elsewhere. This government then comes in and look at it, maps everything up and says we are doing one district, one factory. As of last year, 126 factories were in operation. Why? Because we want to cut down, imports. Were you not in this country when we send a bill to Parliament that we want to reduce the import of rice and sugar? What did Guta say? Even NDC, their minority, They were not in support of the bill.
Can we clarify
Look,
that? That bill is
when-
not supposed to reduce per se. It's supposed to give you permits.
Look.
So if we are going to import a million bags of rice and it's
Right.
going to go to one person,
Right.
that person will be able to supply a million bags of
Look,
rice. That's
the-
what it is.
the-
So it's not about
No.
we are reducing the number of importation. We are
Well-
reducing the number of persons that are importing.
Look,
That is it.
And it's very important that we do that. At least there's going to be a significant reduction. Your city is being exchanged for how many dollars? You change all your cities and you go for all these small dollars. If you look at the number of Brazilian hair that was imported into the country, Rosalind, you'll be shocked. When it comes to gadgets and electronics, iPhones, the number of cities that was exchanged to go get iPhones, the number of cities that was exchanged to get Bone Street or Peruvian hair or whatever hair that you can call it. So as a country, we should look at how do we cut down all of these things and make production here. And that is what government is working on.
All right. Thank you very
When
much.
you do that, your city becomes stronger. America in its entirety is having a stronger currency right now.
I wish I could ask you more questions, but unfortunately,
understand?
time is not on my side to ask you because you've spoken for a while. So let me come to you, Philomola. The question here is whether it's necessary for this monies to be paid or not. Looking at what we are facing as a country, we claim that economically we are not strong, the fundamentals are weak, everything is coming at us. Look at our CD to our dollar ratio as of now. And so paying this amount of money, where we know that even looking at our energy sector, we have some deficits that we have to pay IPPs and we haven't paid them. And so we are still struggling with, doom. So now we have to pay these nurses 177 million Ghana cedis.
Rosalind, I'll answer the question. But before I go there, let me first of all commend that brilliant young lady who asked and deflated the arrogance of the vice president. I commend her because after that question, that effectively punctured the vice president, she has received threats
Alleged,
from MPP people.
Alleged.
Saying that they will make sure she has no job to do in this country.
Alleged.
Saying that they will make sure she does not benefit from that allowance. Even going to the extent of threatening to attack her family. I think we must condemn this. This is a woman, a young woman we must applaud. There's this tendency, especially in the last 7 years of this government, where when young people rise up and challenge people in authority because of their reckless leadership, they are targeted. There are several examples. I think this young lady must be protected. And I think that as a matter of urgency, I would have expected that the regional coordinating council of the region she comes from would have offered her security and protection. This is a young woman we need. This is a future leader. This is a woman who has shown that when women rise up, there will be results. Were there not men there? Were there not young men as part of the audience? It took a young girl. It speaks to the ability of women to lead. And I think that we must protect and applaud that young woman rather than condemn her. She's done very well. And for us as the NDC, we applaud her. We applaud her courage. And
I'm not cutting you. You are saying there are threats.
It's alleged that they are threats, actually. It was all over.
All over in the news. She has been threatened.
She
and
has
attacked.
been threatened.
Yes, because her question
But it's
deflated.
alleged. I haven't seen, any proof of it, but it's alleged. And,
That she has
some
been
people
threatened.
even went to visit her and said that people should contribute towards her welfare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we can get it close
Exactly.
to our flag bearer.
Exactly.
Once we haven't received any of these things, I can assure you on your national platform that nothing will happen to the girl. Nothing. Whoever is doing that, they should be arrested.
Already, the girl is suffering
The threats alone is a
mental issue.
This-
We heard that.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't heard. I'm standing in. I'm
I
standing
think
in for
what
her.
Probably you should
I'm
do
standing
as
in
a
for her.
political party is probably visit her and support
Right,
her.
I'm standing in for her, and it's good that you bring it up. If something like that is happening,
And the
we can tell the flag bearer
The-
that after that question, some
doesn't
people
need
are.
the flag bearer's intervention. There is a state security.
Security
Oh yes,
provided.
that's what I'm saying.
So why
That's what I'm saying.
Don't go trying to score
something
political
No, I'm not
points
saying
out
that.
of
I am only
It's
trying
not
to
fair.
make sure that what you are saying gets to where it has to get
It
to.
will.
Right.
But I'm standing in for her. If she was my sister, I wouldn't allow that to happen.
Right.
So I'm standing in for her. Nothing will happen to that girl.
Great.
In fact, that was a brilliant question, a challenge that was being faced by many, and she pointed out to us.
Fantastic. Let me come back.
The fact of the matter is that it is the NDC that has reached out. We dispatched our regional chairman in her region to go visit her. So the NDC has taken the lead. Whatever the vice president will do will be an afterthought. Because in what country will a vice president who claims he's not in charge, if, let's say Akufo-Addo is even in charge, then a young girl would ask a question as simple as this, and her life is threatened. You tell me that you are assuring her that she'll be protected. There are several assurances this government has given to individuals in this country. What assurances has Nanado himself not given to journalists? Was a journalist not shot dead? What assurances did Nanado not give? Was Manasseh Azure not forced to leave this country because his life was in danger? So we are tired of all of these empty assurances. So we do not believe. If you tell me that the vice president or you are giving assurance the girl will be protected, we do not believe it. We are now taking our destiny in our own hands. That's why the NDC dispatched our chairman to go and offer some sort of support to her. So the young girl, we applaud her.
That is,
but,
Philemon, when you say that, no, you can't take destiny into your own hands.
No, Ben, you come in. You can't
do that. No, I'm not going to hurt you.
Ben,
but when you say, when the NDC says they are going to take destiny into their own hands,
it's his time. Let him finish and then you can rebut.
Go on, Mr. Lau, go on. You go.
He also said, let me just use a minute again to deflate another point he made.
But you still haven't answered my question. Because we don't have that much. I need to move on to the next one.
He made the point that some allowances have been paid. And I'm making a direct call to our viewers. Which camera am I on? This one. I'm making a direct call to our viewers who are nurses or nursing training students who in the various nursing trade send messages to this program and answer him on the question of whether or not it is true that the government has been paying you for the last 7 years. Answer the question. That way you can also convey it to the vice president. So he knows that for 7 years you have led with lies.
Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true.
You have led with lies.
Absolutely not true.
Look, my brother, I intend to respect
continue.
you. Don't interject him. Otherwise, I will interject him too. Let him know that. Because we listen to him in silence. The fact of the matter is that nursing trainee students across this country are not being paid their allowances. And that is a result of the failure of Nanado and Bawumia's leadership. Now to the issue of Bawumia's promise. Bawumia has promised to pay 177 million. I do not believe the vice president. There's one video that is making the rounds, and that's a video of the vice president being asked a question by a journalist from your sister station, Asempa. The vice president was asked a very direct question. Mr. Vice President, what is the greatest legacy you are leaving for the people of the North? And the vice president's answer was that, we have built a Palugu Dam. And this is a dam that has been on the drawing table for several years. And by building this dam, tomato farmers can farm, irrigation is going to work, cattle are going to get enough water to drink and all of that. And that was the greatest legacy that his government was leaving for the people of the North. Just yesterday, in the Upper West region, the vice president confessed that not a single hole had been dug on the site earmarked for Palugu. You see the hypocrisy.
But
on one point, I'm coming there. On one point, it's all about the credibility of the vice president. If he says he's releasing 177, first he says that he had built Palugu Dam. I come from the Upper East region, and Chief Bernard knows the Upper East region very well. The Palugu Dam has not been constructed, but yet this is a vice president who comes on primetime TV, radio, and declares to the people of this country that he has built the Palugu Dam. Apparent lie. So if this is the record of a man who has come again to say he's going to ensure that 177 million is released for nursing training, I'll take it with a certain pinch of salt. By seeing all of this, let's situate this within how the vice president has described himself as a mere meat, and that he's not responsible for any policy decision. He has nothing to do in ensuring that the wheels of government turns. Those were the words of the vice president. And today, the question of a 21-year-old girl, a young girl, has caused the entire government machinery and caused Bawumia to go back on his word. So it tells me that Bawumia is a man who does not mean the words he says.
But let's also look at, I keep asking this question, but it looks like everybody keeps swaying away from it. These monies that are going to be used to pay these students. I mean, Bernard made a fantastic point where we had to stop it for a good reason.
Very much so.
If you go to university, you don't get allowance. Why are we paying nursing trainees and teacher trainees allowances? Because Other students are not getting it. What's so different from them and the others?
Yes, Chief Mona has been very eloquent in describing this, all of this. And that has been the NDC's position. Because we are the ones who cut it off. We are the ones that elevated the training colleges to colleges of education, degree awarding institutions. So that's the rationale behind that. Because he's explained, that's why I don't want to delve into it. So the fact of the matter is that this government, after the NDC scrapped it and it opened for several people to enter nursing, they came to introduce something called a quota system. And the quota system limited admissions into the various nursing and teacher training colleges. So that means that already the numbers the NDC was dealing with has been significantly reduced, and would have expected that if the numbers are less, this government would be in a position to redeem their promise of paying the allowances. Rosalind, are you not aware of the several videos that have made the rounds? Wherever John Mahama goes to various nursing training colleges and towns across this country, you have nursing training students carrying stones on their heads and saying, John Mahama, Jewobo. Have you not seen that? Take your stone because they lied to us.
I haven't seen it.
Rosalind, there are several videos like that. Several videos of nursing training students telling John Mahama that we made mistakes against you. We're unfair to you. We're lied to believe that you are not the savior you are, and that they have repented from that. And that is the reality, because John Mahama leads with leadership, with truth. And at the core of leadership is someone who is truthful to the people he leads. If you show any semblance of lies, or you show any image of someone who is not serious, then you are no leader. And that is what is representative of Alhaji Bawumia.
Okay.
Very representative of Alhaji Bawumia.
Right.
I must make the point again that on the issue of that said 177 million, nowhere in this budget, I've seen the budget, and I have the budget here on my phone, nowhere in the 2024 budget have I seen the intent of this government to even pay all of these monies. I haven't seen it anywhere. So the fact of the matter is that it is telling that the vice president is one who must be prompted. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So the question today we will also ask is that for those university lecturers who are asking for pay rise, they have spoken to the vice president. Did he hear? Did the vice president hear? Law students are saying that open access for legal education. Did the vice president hear? Businessmen are saying that work on repairing the exchange rate, the interest rate, the inflation rate, and all of the rates that make up the various macro and microeconomic indicators. Did the vice president hear that? We have called several times that the vice president should act, but time without number, this vice president had failed to lead with credibility, to lead with truth.
I have to investigate.
Okay. You have to investigate me? Why?
How can Mabel Nati say that you are a very good friend?
Good morning, Mabel. She's a very good friend. Mabel, good morning. I miss you too. All right, so we'll move on to... Oh, pardon?
Hey.
She's a very, very good friend. She's like a sister to me.
Don't let me think.
Let's move on to our next topic as we prepare to get your messages and read your messages. Now, we talk about our state assets, and we keep saying it day in and day out. And what do we talk about? How to own our state assets, how not to sell off our state assets. We've spoken time and again about, some of the assets that Kwame Nkrumah built that have collapsed, that have been sold to the private sector. Now, we have hotels right here in Ghana, hotels that we enjoy, we love. Yet these hotels are going, and they are going into the hands of private investors. Now, is it okay for this to happen? Or is it actually something that we ought to look at? This segment is probably brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, if you're looking for...
You're still advertising, Franco?
Yes, I have to. My salary depends on them.
They are not able to even change your phone for you.
They will change it at the appropriate time. So if you're looking for any gadgets to get,
Franco,
whether mobile phones, television set,
laptop, I get my gadget.
CCTV cameras, you can actually get it from Franco Trading Enterprise. All you have to do is to download the app on your phone, Franco Trading app, or visit our website, www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still for Papa Perfie. Now, as I was saying, we have some state hotels. And these hotels, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa is saying that SSNIT has sold 60% of its shares in these hotels to a private sector. Who is this person that this is going to be owning these hotels? Well, it's somebody in government. And this is Honorable Brian Champo, who is currently the Agric Minister. Now, his petition, that is Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa's petition to Shraj, is because he's saying that it didn't go through the right channel. That means it didn't go through Parliament. Yet, he has been given the opportunity to own these hotels. Now, he is also the owner of Rock City Hotel. And, you know, like I said, he's a great minister. Now, this is what the hotels that I'm going to tell you about. We are talking about Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Elmina Beach Resort, Ridge Royal Hotel, Busia Beach Resort, and the Trust Lodge Hotel. Now, SSNIT is saying that they actually put a publication out for the sale of this because they are not making too much money, so they felt they should sell it to the private sector so these businesses don't collapse. And but they are not going to comment too much on it. They are going to allow Shraj to investigate on it. I know Bernard stands on, you know, our assets, state assets are being sold. And so I'll start this conversation with him again. But let me see if we have our messages. Do we have some messages here? All right, let's see what we have. Let me start with this one. This coming from Honorable Akisme from Sitri Bekwa. Says, good morning, Obapa, beautiful Roslyn. In my view, I believe that allowances should still be maintained. Number one, allowances are a contractual agreement between the government and not public servants, including trainee nurses and teachers. Reneging on this government would be a breach of trust. Number two, these professionals have dedicated themselves to serve the nation, and their allowances are a small token of appreciation for their work. Number three, removing allowances would be proportionately affect the most vulnerable members of our society who are already struggling to make ends meet. Instead of cutting allowances, we should focus on reducing wasteful expenditure, tackling corruption, and implementing sustainable economic reforms to address our national challenges. All right. All right, so I'm going to definitely come back and read some more messages, but let me start this conversation with you, Bernard Mona. Bernard, the hotels are going.
I just don't know how silly we can be as a people. It's difficult to think that there is any sense in us since the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. We have successfully implemented what we call the Divestiture Implementation Committee that has supervised the sale, not sale actually, the auctioning of state assets. And in the most instances, we insist that these sales are as a result of inefficiencies on the part of management to run these companies or state assets effectively. And so our solution to the inefficiency of management is that we should do disposal of assets. That is so silly, so childish. The last time I came to your studio, I asked if you own this beautiful studio and it's not being run effectively, your management will decide that, or it's dirty. Let me make it that it's dirty. That means that cleaners are not doing their job well. And so because it's dirty, your solution to ensuring that it's not dirty is that you sell the thing off. Right? If we say you are a fool, you say it's an insult. But clearly you are not anything better than that. Because if the cleaner is not doing the job well, take out that inefficient cleaner and go around the well, you find a proficient cleaner that will do the job well to ensure that the company survives, the environment is clean. I probably is beginning to forgive Sam Jonah. You know my position on him. That this is a man entrusted with Ashanti Goldfields. He came and met Ashanti Goldfields. People, CEOs were there before he came. Under Rawlings, he supervised the sale of 30% of our shares. The money was even not put in the Ghana government account. It was put in the AGC account, where he determines what time government of Ghana will get. That became a tango. Then President Kufuor assumes office. The remaining 25%, he sells it. With the connivance of government, because he goaded government into selling it. And he was made a co-president only for 9 months. AngloGold jettisoned him. Only for 9 months, they jettisoned him. The Queen of England, through then Prince Charles, now King Charles, knighted him. He publicly admits that he doesn't know why he was knighted. Who doesn't know that when you auction your state to the British, they knight you? We know. Today, Sam Jonah comes to say his generation has failed.
Yeah.
He admits, look, do you know what 55% ownership of AGC meant for the people of Ghana? It reduced galamsey. Majority of Ghanaians were employed in that sector. So those who had mining skills, they were not going around because they had somewhere that the state employed them. They got to survive. They made wealth. They made the lives of their people better. They did not devastate our forests and our environments, water bodies and what have you. Today, look at the problems we have to deal with. There's no state-owned mines that the people of Ghana can say, this is our own. Courtesy the leadership of Sam Jonah and his cohorts. So yes, we are beginning to apologize. Do you know how we are going to reclaim this? Now, how many state assets have we not sold? And I cite that, look, we sold Ghana Airways, and I'm paying though.
Yeah, we sold Ghana Airways.
We sold Ghana Airways. What was the rationale for selling Ghana Airways? Because of management incompetence and inefficiency.
So you changed them.
So we sold Ghana Airways. And in selling Ghana Airways, we said we are forming Ghana International. There was boardroom wrangling, Same Crab, Kojom Pianim, and what have you. The thing fizzled out. That company did not see the day of light. Our wisdom, no, let me be blunt, our stupidity, I'm being very blunt, is that whilst we sold this, we have gone to contract loans, and we are putting up airports. President just went and commissioned an uncompleted airport in Kumasi.
Is it not completed?
It's not completed. Have you seen that it has been open to any traffic? Because they now have to do final touches. You don't commission something and say, when you commission, in fact, normally there is test run on the facility for some time before you go and commission. We commission a project, and there is no, it's not being used. Now they are fixing it. It's just like the way he went and commissioned Botema Sports Complex. When he finished, then we now had to go and do marking of the area so that sportsmen can go and start to use it. So clearly, you went and commissioned an uncompleted project. We borrowed money to go and do airports for whose planes to be landing. If aviation is not profitable, why did you sell your airways? And then you now go and contract loans. Come and put up Terminal 3. Go and put up Ho Airport. Go and put up Tamale Airport. Come and put Kumasi Airport. Do Wa Airport. Rose. And you want me to call this wisdom? So other people's plane can come and land. You now have to do, I call it a lorry park. The lorry park of a plane. I will not call it plane parks. So you go and construct money. Come and put up airport. People's planes are landing. Look, we sat in this country. And because of 1 year budget deficit, we sold Ghana Telecom. With all its infrastructure. Vodafone came, they made all the wealth. They celebrated 10 years with palm and pageantry. How successful they have been. They have packed bag and baggage. They have given it to another company, Telecel. Also come and make money. Look, the new gold in the world is communication. Right? Because all of us, even as we are sitting here, he's using his data. Money is being spent. All of us, even as you have to read your messages, data is being consumed. How silly can we be as a people? And we do this. Today, SSNIT owns Social Security and National Insurance Trust Bank. Remember? SSB. We owned it. That was the workers of Ghana whose contribution was used to create the SSB, Social Security Bank. Our stupidity enabled us to sell SSB to a bank owned by France, Société Générale. We sold our bank to them. They came, their national bank came to buy our bank. Today, they said they have made enough money. They don't want to keep any interest in Africa. They are moving. They are closing their bank. They use Akufo-Addo's father's hotel, Ring Road Hotel, to now establish their new headquarters. They are going. But our workers, who used to save at SSB, and who, because they are workers, they were given certain benefits, they have lost it. Hotels, the state continue to use hotels. And I know for a fact, for instance, Elmina Beach Hotel. When SSNIT went there, the chiefs did not sell the Elmina land to them. They offered it, come and build, because we are also contributing to the state. Today that you are selling Elmina Beach, are you selling the structures or you are selling including the land? And the people that we have entrusted with a mandate to protect what we have now become those who are grabbing to their chest, taking what belonged to all of us and owning it as their personal property. I have no problem if Brian Achampong, my good friend, wants to own hotels. Build your hotels.
All right.
Don't, as somebody responsible for protecting state assets, be the one to go and organize people to come and buy what you are supposed to protect. Why are we so guilty?
Ben, let me bring you to the conversation.
Well, Rosalind, I just wanted to make some few corrections with regards to what Bernard was saying. Well, you see, the Kumasi Airport is one of the most beautiful, edifices or infrastructure that is being built by this government. It has been commissioned. There are certain phases of the airport that will continue to, develop. And Kumasi Airport, as we all know, has become an international airport. So if Bernard is saying that it is not, it wasn't completed and it was being commissioned at the time when certain phases of it wasn't completed, then it's far from the truth. It's in operational now.
Oh, so it's in use?
Oh, of course. It's being commissioned and it's in operational now.
So
anybody can fly from Kumasi to Berlin. And Ghana Airport will speak to that at the time that they will commence some of these things. It has been commissioned.
So you can fly from Kumasi to Berlin?
That's what I'm saying,
now.
that yes, currently, Ghana Airport hasn't come up with the official dates that some of these international flights will be coming in.
But you said it's
I'm saying that it's being commissioned, and Ghana Airport, we only need to wait for them to come with the dates that some of these...
It hasn't started.
It hasn't. But, he's saying that the airport wasn't completed and it was being commissioned. Far from the truth.
But it hasn't started.
It's operational.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now that Dubai, currently, there was, I think there was a pilot from Dubai to Kumasi and was successful. Even the Hajj programs.
It was a test run.
Yes. Even from the Hajj programs from Kumasi straight to Saudi. It was there all over in the news. Look, with what he's saying with this state's assets, I think there needs to be a national dialogue. Because if you could recall, when President Akufo-Addo came in, and then there was the auctioning of state vehicles, he banned it. Okay? He banned it. Okay? And that is something that we all need to understand. If at the end of the day, we are thinking that SSNIT has no right to seek for 60%. SSNIT is only looking for 60%.
It's not the only.
Okay,
60% is majority shares. I own it if I have 60%.
So it is better.
You will be, I beg you,
Right.
You will be unfair to me and the people who just listen to me,
Right.
that the Kumasi airport is in use. When your own colleagues have reported, and you can check it, why the thing has been closed down because the job has not been completed.
Officially, I do not know. I do not know. I'll go on with my submission.
So wait.
I'll go on with my submission.
Gentlemen.
You will have time to do the correction or whatever it is.
No, so the thing is,
right.
I was definitely going to put that correction out.
Where is this coming from?
No, wait. So you make your point, and then we put it into our corrections.
Right.
Okay? All right.
Where is this?
Please continue.
Coming from me and coming from journalists.
No problem. But Madam Muda, you don't know everything. That's something that you have to know.
That's why I'm
saying that you don't know everything. That's something that you have to know.
No, of course.
So,
right. I don't know how to lie.
With the SSNIT, 60% investment. Look, it's better than we sitting down aloof to make sure that this whole, beautiful hotels collapse completely. In time past, we've seen some of these things.
Why will it collapse?
Because some of these things, requires capital, operational capitals and other things. When businesses are not making profit, what would you do? As a better manager, you look for investors.
So if you're not making profit, how will somebody else come and make profit from it?
Well, so you may not have the profit, you may not have the money as at that time to contribute to the profit making of your organization or whatever business that you have. But somebody might. So should you just sit down and let it collapse so that you don't give it out to somebody who can come in to help? We all need at the point in life need help in our lives.
Somebody said something. I just want us to get to this.
Right.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody said under the MPP government, we lost Ghana Airways. We lost Ghana Telecom. We are losing our hotels as well.
Well, so, that may be far from it.
Far?
Far from it.
But we lost Ghana Airways, is it not fact?
Well,
didn't we lose Ghana Telecom, is it not fact? Didn't we lose SSB, is it not fact?
Which government was in power when all of these things were running?
Which government was in power?
Exactly. It was President Rawlings who was in power before we took over.
Yes. And
we made assessments.
But you sold them.
We made assessments.
And under the new MPP government, you are selling again.
No, Rosalind, see, if we do not understand some of these things, you would not better appreciate what the then president did. You are running a state entity, okay? And at the end of the day, the state entity taking from government coffers, the taxpayers' money.
So fix it.
It's not getting profit. What you need to do is sometimes you can do private, government strategic partnership to look at some of these things. And that is what SSNIT is trying to do.
We don't even have an airline of our own.
Of course. In time past, government is looking into it. Haven't you heard that the rich brothers of Ashanti region, Despite, and his brother Oforisapon and other people are looking into bringing these airlines back to Ghana?
That is a private sector.
So that's what I'm saying.
That is not for Ghana.
Sometimes.
If somebody and his brother decides to start a business, it doesn't belong to our country.
Sometimes it's good. Government, government doesn't have all the money to run some of these things. But it's better than collapsing it. Sitting down and making sure that this whole thing just collapses just like that. No. SSNIT is saying they are looking for 60%.
Majority?
Yes.
You sell it off.
So you are not selling it off.
You're selling it off.
When you're majority, when you have 60% shares, it means that you make most of the decision.
No. So you own it.
No.
So I can decide that I don't want the company to run again.
I own it.
You see?
If I sell 60% of my
No, I don't want the company to run again.
Look, when we haven't looked into the terms and conditions of this offer, we need to look at it. Maybe in the 40%, the one selling it may make claims that you cannot do this at a certain time. Do you understand or do you agree? If you can't agree, you have to go. We look for an investor that is ready to do that. Look, I am saying the petition is before Shraj, right? Shraj is saying they'll go into it. Let us not discourage Ghanaians. As a matter of fact, it will be better off if my own brother, a Greek minister, who we all know has a beautiful hotel in the Eastern region, comes to partner with SSNIT to manage this edifice.
All right. So
would it be bad than selling off?
It will be bad.
Selling off to,
it will be bad.
To somebody,
it will be bad.
A foreigner.
It will be bad.
No.
You know why I'm saying it will be bad?
Look,
this is a state-owned company.
Right. Are they making profits or not? Are they making profits or not?
Can we have a situation where if you think the managers are not working right, change them.
Right.
Bring in the right strategies.
Look,
bring in the right managers. If somebody can handle a private sector and make it work, why can't you hire people who can do the work and make it work?
I understand you perfectly
companies.
well. Yes, I understand you perfectly well. For all you know, the SSNIT managers would have done all of these things. Okay. And I may not be yielding results.
All right.
So they are looking at the best solution as at this moment.
For us to lose
exactly.
For us to lose.
No, but at the end of the day,
let me bring Philemon in. Philemon, please
Rosie.
make your point. Yes, please. Sorry, Ben. Time.
All right, so...
time is not on my side, so... yes.
Which is it? Am I presenting or reading your messages?
Please continue. Please. No, make your point. Don't worry at all.
I'll be by standing.
I'll be stimulating you. Please make your point.
I know that one.
Okay, you see, I'm going to just summarize my point because I understand that you are limited in time.
Yes, please.
There's this book that is going around, and I'm sure everyone in the media and any politician is aware of that book. It's called Ejapa Dear.
Ejapa what?
Ejapa Dear. Oh, you're not aware of the book?
Ejapa Dear?
Yes.
Ejapa Dear.
Ejapa Dear.
Ejapa Dear. Ejapa Dear. The book. You're not aware of it?
Continue.
Rosalie, I'm asking, are you aware of the
Continue
book?
your
Rosalie, you don't want to admit.
I can send a copy to
you.
Rosalie is aware of the book.
Continue.
Now, this book, everything that has been written in this book, it is alleged to be a blueprint of the Achem Mafia on how they want to rape the resources of this country and take control of the commanding heights of the economy. In this particular book, they state, in fact, this is a book that came way before the election, 2016 election, and everything in it has happened with pinpoint precision. Everything, including removing Francis Korting from part, including Rawlings, including taking out John Boydu, all of those things. So in this, yes.
Who wrote this book?
We don't know the source, but it is there. It's a prophetic book.
This could be a propaganda.
Everything is happening. How is it propaganda when the book came out in like 2015? No. And since 2015, everything is happening. I
think that she's not a bitter woman.
Yeah,
so I'm sending you. I've just
a copy. Read it. Let me make my point. So in this book, they make the point that they are going to make sure that Osafo Mafo's son, Osafo Mafo's son, is made deputy MD of SSNIT.
Book that we do not know the author.
You must be careful.
But the content, yes, everything in that book is being implemented, so you don't need the author. You should see whether it's been implemented.
They are going to make Osafo Mafo's son MD of SSNIT so that he shall protect the interests of the Achem people and ensure that they are able to take control of commanding heights of the economy. Today, that thing is happening. Since the announcement of Osafo Mafo's son, nepotism within the MPP, as the MD of SSNIT, we are seeing the sale of state agencies. This is not the first time that the MPP or all of their people have been selling off state things. It is on record that the SGSSB bank building, which is now owned by Akufo-Addo's family, because Akufo-Addo's father was a product of a divestiture from a Nigerian Yoruba man who owned it. And then Akufo-Addo's father bought it for peanuts, which is what Akufo-Addo has inherited today. Their house at Nima was a house owned by Lebanese. So it is something that they are used to. And I think that I feel the pain of the poor teacher, the pain of the poor public sector worker.
We all feel the pain, though. We all feel the pain, and I'm not surprised. Here, some of you guys who were born with silver.
Why is he taking a video of me for national security? Why is he doing that? He just did that.
No.
He just did that.
It's not
call him out.
Rosalind,
first of all, a point was made about his lies, and you refuse to call him out.
Let me read the message.
Rosalind,
everybody says I refuse to call somebody out. Let me read the messages.
To make my point.
Why are you shouting on this?
I beg you. I'm begging you. Dear Rosalie, some of you guys, oh my God, some of you guys who were born with silver and golden spoons will not appreciate the effect the trainee allowances carries and will always make it a political tool on shows. I challenged Bernard Mona and the NDC guy to produce a single document that shows enrollment increased when the allowances were taken away. People lie on your show because they know they will not be challenged. Rosalind, please stop being a panelist. I'm not being a panelist here, darling. We asked the question, it's just a fair question because people are asking that, looking at their difficult times that we are in, should it be paid? But hey, if it has to be paid, it will be paid. It's not a problem at all. We sympathize with you, okay? We do sympathize. Can I have my next message, please? All right, so this one said, good morning, Rosalind, please. I want to know if Vice President didn't know that Ghana was an import-drive economy before giving those voodoo economic lectures between 2015 to 2016. In fact, anytime I see the VP, dishonesty, lies, and disgrace, say no to the NPP Isaac Zembala. Al-Hassan Sise from Zenu Central, who was the nurses' training allowances restored to? Since the nurses themselves are asking the driver's mate direct question concerning the allowance, if Bawumia, the driver mate, can order for the allowance to be paid now, he can equally order for dialysis to be paid by the government, as well as e-levy and other taxes be scrapped now than he waiting to have the steer before he can scrap them. In fact, if incompetency is described as the one who used $200 million to build Seglemi, what will you call the one who used the same $200 million to dig the largest hole in the world in the middle of Accra and called it National Cathedral? Jack Toronto and his mates are kings of destroyers. Unfortunately, I can't read all the messages because time will not permit me. So I want to say a big thank you to my gentlemen for being here. Super grateful. Ben Jawapia, thank you for being here. He represented the NPP. Philomola is very upset with me. Philemon, please pardon me.
But it's not been fair with me.
I'm sorry. Philemola represented the NDC and Bernard Mona represented the PNC. Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen. I want to tell you a bit about our Impact Makers Award. Of course, it's coming up again very, very soon. And you have to make a date with us in June as we honor and showcase these outstanding individuals, encouraging them to continue their incredible work for Mother Ghana. Let's celebrate national development starting at the local community level. And of course, Joy News Impact Makers Awards will be celebrating ordinary people who are making extraordinary impact, and so be a part of it. And this is proudly brought to you by McDan Foundation, Gold Key Properties Limited, DBS Industries, and First National Bank. And now, as I speak about it, I know we'll take a look at some of the things that have been happening in the past with regards to our Joy News Impact Makers Awards. Up next is what's trending with the CEDWA. But before then, let's take a look at what happens with regards to Joy News Impact Makers Awards.